sense that if I believe that you take something in the sense that you can learn and memorize, number one. And this dua on page number 3, if you wish to open, is such a dua that Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to make this dua, and we know that this dua, if you really look at it from the perspective of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we know that he was not right, he was not kasab, meaning that he was not an individual that was helpless, in fact he used to help others. We know for a fact he was not lazy. And as a simple note, some of us are here, how many of us missed our Fajr Salah today? We are part of a retreat. Retreat means I'll be learning and sharing with others. Did I get my family on Fajr Salah? How can I teach others if I cannot follow myself what I learn? And how can I learn if I'm not willing to teach others? So kasal, it goes to laziness. Jub, both, it refers to being a coward. Am I a coward? Am I standing up with my family in prayer? Am I helping them stand up in prayer? Am I a miser? The Quran talks about a person who's a miser. The miserliness doesn't hurt others as much as it hurts themselves. So this dua Rasulullah used to make, we know full well that this dua was made by him to teach us on how to become the best of people, which is humanly possible. And this dua, this prayer, page number 3 on the top, it can be made by anyone and everyone. And in fact, if you study all motivational masters in the world, whether it's Tony Robbins or whoever it may be that you go after, this is what they are using as their template. Of course, not this dua, but what do they tell you? This is what they all say. You got to get going. You got to have a plan. And you got to be consistent on your plan. That means you cannot be lazy. And you cannot be a coward to your plan. And you have to be willing to share your plan with others and to others. And once you do that, that creates success, not only for yourself and your family, but the others as well. So let us, inshallah, read this dua just 1 or 2 times, especially those of us that know Arabic, inshallah. Let us read it. Let us take a screenshot of this particular thing. And let us make it our goal that we will read it with one thing in mind, that this retreat can become something that changes our life. If I ask you, of course, for example, regarding the previous retreat we had, tell me about it. And I know what most of you are going to say, the Sheikh was good. Tell me more about it. The Sheikh spoke very well. Okay, I got the point. Tell me more about it. He was a very nice, soft-natured person. Okay. All you're telling me is how great he was. But if I ask you, what did you really learn? What did you really take with you? And that's what the Shaykh is here for. Of course, he's a wonderful person, very highly qualified, very highly educated. But when it comes to knowledge, you can be a little bit more greedy than that by saying, this is what I expect. This is what I want to take with me. This is how I wish to change my life. Education has 3 components to it. One is learning. Right? One is learning. We know that very well. The second is practicing and teaching. And there are 2 opinions regarding this. Do I practice and then teach, or do I teach and then practice? And when you are a student, the Sheikh will tell you, when someone is teaching someone, like one student will tell someone else something, other one will say, no, don't teach me, because you're not following. And the other one will say, yes, it's true, I'm not following, but I'm teaching you with the intention that I will follow thereafter. So, the second and third one, that's left to the individual, but the ulama are unanimous. Learning is very important, and the first revelation we learn that very well. But the second is, what am I going to do with what I have? Am I willing to share it with others? Like for example, there's a dua when you walk into the masjid, you read the dua, Allahumma ftahni abwab rahmatik. Now ask me how I know of this dua, and I'll tell you. I was with a group of students. We were sitting together. And there was a group leader. And we used to always, when you're a student, you find a way to distract yourself, right? That's how you are in the spirit. There's one guy in the group, he will make sure that before you got up from that situation, you had to learn a dua or you had to learn a hadith. You had to do it. There was no way out for you. If you, everybody, and he was smart. I asked him later in life, why did you do this? You know what he said? Because I knew that when I put pressure on those around me, they're going to eventually run away from me. So I can continue studying. That's what he would say. Because I know, most of the students, they like to waste time. So I didn't want to waste time with people. So whenever you come and sit, then you talk first few minutes, then you open a book or something and say, let's learn this dua. Let's learn this hadith. Let's learn this. And by that time, everybody's like, hey, I need to text my friends. I need to have a good time. So the point I'm trying to make is, we have to take something with us. How did I learn the dua? From that fellow. I went to his group and I sat down and he taught me. And he said, you're not going to leave today until you learn the dua. And if I saw him in the corridors, you know what he'll do to me? First thing he'll say, we met in the group 3 weeks ago. You remember? What did I teach you? Now, if I wanted to talk nonsense, I couldn't even talk nonsense with him. Because I knew, if I'm going to see this guy, I better do the dua. Otherwise, I better run away from him. This is how you create learning, understanding, preaching, and practicing. You have to hold people accountable. And many of the retreats that we have are normally, I feel good. We have a chef from Zaytuna, mashallah. Zaytuna is moving on, they're going to the next level. You can't just sit in praising Zaytuna. You have to start learning, so that way Zaytuna becomes a reality, not only where it is, it becomes a reality where you are. And this is why we have the chef over here. So in line of that, and making this dua something that, each one of us can use in our lives, inshallah. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter who you are. You can take it with you. And follow with me very briefly, and thereafter, inshallah, I'll hand it over to the Shaykh without any further ado. Let's, especially those of us that are weak in Arabic, let's look at it as slowly as possible and with total feeling and goodness, of course. Top of page number 3, those of you who don't have a book, look at someone that does have a book. Allahumma inni, you can say it softly, loudly, however you wish. As long as you can take it with you, that's the main thing. Allahumma inni, oh Allah, verily I, oh Allah, inni, Allahumma inni, a'udhu bika, min al-hammi wal-hazan, min al-hammi wal-hazan. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from grief and anxiety. Now, who over here doesn't have grief and anxiety? The difference here is, you are taking the matter to Allah. If you get caught up in that grief, you get caught up in that anxiety, it takes you down. It takes you down. You become incapacitated by yourself. Psychologists don't make money from nothing. Psychiatrists don't make money from nothing. Some of it is a medical issue, some of it is in your head. That's why they say a man or a woman, we answer questions based on what? On our mood. On our mood. Both of us came out from the same event. Same event. You ask me, how am I? I say, I'm fine. This guy you ask him, is next to you, how are you? He goes, did you really mean that question? Did you see how I treat me because my tooth is broken? All these things are going in his head. Why? Because something is affecting him over. Do I really look good? Sisters will ask one another. Do I really look good? Sister, you look fine, don't worry about it. No, but, I think I gained weight. I think I this. I think I that. And it just goes downhill from there. This hadith is saying, the dua is saying, don't become incapacitated by your grief and your anxiety, and turn and remove yourself away from the grief by transferring yourself to what Allah expects of you. So the first part again, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan. Very important. Second part, let's read that. Wal-ajzi wal-kasli. Wal-ajzi wal-kasli. Third time. Wal-ajzi wal-kasli. And oh Allah, I seek refuge from what? Ajiz means actually multiple things. Also they have a way of saying it here as well. Various forms of helplessness. Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whatever it may be. Whether it's psychological. For example, there was one case that we had. This guy ended up spending, I think, about $40,000 or $50,000 on various his chest with his family. And the doctor said, everything is fine, everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with you. I don't know why you can't move your hands, or why you can't move your body. It was all in the person's mind. Because she was not feeling loved, she just felt she couldn't move, she couldn't function. So this can be physical, it can be emotional, whatever it is. Therefore, when you feel that way about yourself, say to yourself, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ghammi wal-hazan wal-'ajzi wal-kasl. When you can't get up in the morning, it's amazing, our young boys, and all sheikhs use this example. Ask the guy, what do you want in life? I want a good ummah, I want a strong ummah, and that's why I go to the gym, and I work out, I can punch, press, pump, exactly, bench press, pump 250 pounds. And what about Fajr Salah? You just couldn't move that like it. It's how difficult it is. This is what it comes to. Wal-'ajzi wal-kasl. It's not that you couldn't move that duvet or whatever you have. Kasl. And this is the dua you make. When you don't want to study, my brother and sister, it's kasl. When you don't want to do your homework on time, it's kasl. And this is the dua you have to make. And wal-jubni wal-bukhl. So the third part is wal-jubni wal-bukhl. Say it after me in your mind, inshallah. Wal-jubni wal-bukhl. And oh Allah, prevent me from being a coward. Now many people will say this refers to warfare and stuff. Don't run away from the enemy. Yes, that's one. It's how we frame ourselves. Actually, it means don't be a coward to your studies. Don't be a coward to our share. It's here to teach us. It's your duty to pay attention. Not to be texting and talking and doing and letting other things overtake your mind. Your friends are your friends. Leave them where they are. You have to focus on what you need to focus on. Don't be a coward to what you stand for. Your values, your system, all these things. And wal-bukhl, don't be a miser. And miser doesn't only refer to wealth, knowledge, health, everything. Be open and be sharing. And the more you share, the more Allah will give you. And once you put, I firmly believe, those first three things, inshallah, then وَضَلَعِ الدَّيْنِ وَغَلَبَةِ الرِّجَالِ will become very, very much of the reality. People will not be able to overpower you. And the Shaykh mentioned quite a few things yesterday, and I hope you read between the lines. We are going through a lot as a people, Muslims and non-Muslims alike, and everyone wants to dominate. Everyone wants to say, follow me, follow me. And that follow me is costing you your credit card, is putting you in debt, is getting you into all types of mess. Whether it's wedding costs that are unnecessary in nature, trying to impress individuals by buying the latest car that you don't really can't afford, etc. Get yourself away from that greed. Get yourself away from being a miser. Get yourself away from being a coward. Well, will become a reality. You will not let debt and all those unnecessary loans overtake you. And you will not let the evilness and the evil powers of people thereafter corrode you. So my brothers, I know I took a lot of your time, inshallah. Just let's read the dua again, and I really feel this is very, very important, inshallah. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan wal-'ajzi wal-kasl wal-jubni wal-bukhl وَضَلَعِ الدَّيْنِ وَقَلَبَةِ الرِّجَالِ. Inshallah, if this dua becomes a reality for you and I, then this moments that we are spending with our Shaykh, inshallah, will take us, inshallah, a very, very long way. May Allah bless the Shaykh for coming. May Allah bless the sister that has come also from Zaytuna. May Allah give Zaytuna all the success that they deserve. They are trying very hard, they are sincerely. Shaykh Hamza Yusuf is one of the senior members over there. From the time I was young, I remember hearing his speeches. He has contributed immensely to the well-being of Imam Zayd, including the various Anilullah. May Allah bless the faculty, may Allah bless the institution, and may Allah bless the Shaykh for coming and sharing these words. And I hope, inshallah, we're able to take a lot more benefit from them. And may Allah also bless Brother Zuhair and our Dr. Sahab for also putting this event together. So, with that, without any further, inshallah, anyone else? Shaykh, I apologize for extending my time. May Allah bless you all.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أصبحنا مسبحين لله رب العالمين اللهم إنا نسألك هذا اليوم كسر نصره وجبره وبركة الله ونعوذ بك من شره وشر ما فيه وشر ما قبله وشر ما بعده اللهم زدنا ولا تنقصنا واكرمنا ولا تهنا واعطنا ولا تحرمنا واثرنا ولا تفرق علينا وارض عنا وعافنا يا رب العالمين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا وارزقنا مستقيما ولا حول ولا قوه الا بالله العظيم سبحانك لا علم لنا الا ما علمتنا انك انت الحكيم السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, let me first actually thank Sheikh Muhammad Shari for his wisdom and his kind words. You all have a very special gift in here at the masjid. So you should honor and cherish what you have. Something very special to have. Before coming back to the book, actually, he got my mind sort of going in a lot of different directions. And the comments that I want to make actually are not unrelated to what we're studying. But the dua itself, perhaps one of the most important parts of the dua, of the prayer itself, is the beginning, when it says, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal hazan. Oh Allah, I take refuge with you from, you can translate it anxiety and sadness. Translated in both as grief and from, where else?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. That we have anxiety about the future. Right? We're sad about the past. But another important part of the prayer relates to the taking of refuge from cowardice and from stinginess. There's another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ said, "Sharru ma fil mar'i shuhun haribun wa jubnun kharib." Which roughly translates as the worst characteristics, the worst traits that a person can have are excessive miserliness and cowardice. Rough translation. We need to be people who are charitable, people who are willing to open our hands, be open-handed, because without us being that way, we can't help the poor, we can't help the needy. If we're cowards, we can't help the oppressed. And in some levels, many of us are the oppressed. The word courage, that courage is considered to be a virtue. And courage does not mean the absence of fear when you take on a task. It actually means the opposite of that. And it means the presence of fear and the ability to take on the task in spite of the fear of what may occur. When you lack fear, then that's not called courage. It's called recklessness, called daring, and that's a vice. That's a vice. You know what I'm saying? Even when they charge into the battle, to the enemy, no, without fear. You're stupid. I mean, that's the way, in virtual ethics, that's what you're taught. That when you have no fear at all, you're just a stupid person. That you're just like, you're reckless. But to be truly courageous is to be fearful that something may not turn out the way that you hope it would. And this is one of the main reasons that speaking truth in the face of a a tyrant considered to be the greatest form of jihad. أفضل الجهاد كلمة الحق عند السلطان جاء عند إمام جاء. The most superior form of jihad is to speak a word of truth in the presence of a tyrannical ruler. Right? It's like you don't know what's going to happen. Then you go, it's 50-50. It's coin toss. It's like you know you can't win, right, in this particular situation. But you hope that it's going to not kill you, right? It's not do something to put you in prison, right? It's courage, right, to speak the truth in situations like that. But it's also courage when we take on our own vices, that we challenge ourselves. Instead of just surrendering and giving up, oh, it's too hard. I'm never going to become a better person. This is impossible. This is too hard. I try and I keep failing. I try and keep failing. I just give up. And there are a lot of people out there like, I've even had people in my family tell me years ago, oh, I know I'm going to hell. I mean, they just, they're just so like, hey, whatever, I can't do it better than what I'm doing. This is it. I know I'm going to hell. I'm enjoying myself right now. Have all the fun I can right now. That's all I'm going. But that's a coward. That you call a coward. That you're unwilling to deal with yourself. Imam Ghazali says the human being has 4 essential traits. One he calls khasla al-bahimiyya, the bestial trait. Like, we all hunger for certain things. We want to eat, want to drink, want to gratify ourselves sexually. Right? We have this bestial trait within ourselves. And of course, when we're younger, we don't have the third, but we have the other 2. We're born with the desire to quench our thirst and to remove hunger. It is one of the very first things that we are faced with. So a bestial trait, and we have what we call khasla samariyya. The predatory trait. We have a predatory trait because, of course, our minds, as we develop, we start to utilize your intellect a bit in order to get what you want. Like as a predator does to its prey, try to find ways to achieve, to trap the prey. Then we have a satanic trait, khasla shaytaniyya. We plot, we plan, we deceive, right? We transgress against others. So he says these are all natural traits with every single human being, child and adult. But he said we also have a godlike trait, khasla mubiyya, in the sense that there's certain appetites we have. We have an appetite for things which are only befitting of God. Like for instance, we like to be praised. We like status. We like to lord over others, right? And we have to be very careful about each one of them. But he also goes on and makes the point that what makes it so hard for the human being to overcome these vices that we have is because the animalistic aspect of the human being is predominant from birth, right? And so by the time the rational aspect of the human being becomes healthy or becomes fully formed, that the bestial aspect of the human being is already, gained control largely, to a large extent within us. So the rest of our lives, we spend it trying to gain mastery over the most primordial aspects of who we are, right? And so the intellect and strengthening the intellect is what will help us to become successful, right? So if we're struggling with things, then we have to understand that the first and foremost, the way that we are to challenge ourselves and to strengthen our resolve to do better is through education. education. And so education not only about general things, but more importantly, education about ourselves. Educating ourselves. We have to learn who we are. What are we? And what am I as a human being? What is my nature? What type of things am I attracted to? What type of things will destroy me? Right? We need to understand that, but then we learn the cures for that, how do we treat these ills. And so we should always remain hopeful that speaking to you from this position should not be taken as a sign that I'm awesome, and I've arrived. I have complete mastery over my own appetites. No, I don't. And that's what makes this a challenge to speak about this particular topic, which I like to refer to as virtue ethics. That's what we call it in other traditions as well, called virtue ethics. And the aim of virtue ethics is to make us into better people. That's what the aim of it is. Make us into better people. That's the goal. It has its own teleology. Telos is teleological in nature. So in an attempt to make the world a better place, make ourselves better people, it's not like utilitarianism and other types of ethics. But virtue ethics is what's important for us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards us for the deeds we do, but we don't put all of our faith in our deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has considered it to be important that we show an effort. And Allah, He rewards us for that effort. But we also can't put so much faith in our efforts or in our deeds that we think that we have a guaranteed place for Allah Yom Qiyamah, on their resurrection. Of course, God has to let me in. Allah doesn't have to let anybody, He doesn't have to do anything that we want for God to do. Right? So we should remember this, that though we may fail, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still rewards for the effort. Fall, you get up. Fall, you get up. Fall, you get up. Eventually, you'll be able to walk. You won't fall anymore. And you may stumble even as you walk. But you won't fall. Eventually, you won't stumble anymore. That this is what we need to understand, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at your heart. He sees the effort. And some people will be sitting on pulpits of lights on the day of resurrection. We come to find that they won't be. They will be somewhere else, perhaps in the lowest depths of hellfire, right? Because we judge by appearances. We really don't know the reality of things and of people. On the other hand, we see some people, again, we see them stumbling, we see them falling, but they're sincere, have good hearts. That those are people we will see on the opposite. So don't give up hope. Never give up hope. And know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His mercy is all available. So yesterday I started to read a passage on page 3. I think before talking about the topic of taqwa itself, its definition, different forms, I still think that it's important to, paint the picture that the authors of the book were trying to paint with regard to the state of the home, the state of our humanity. So on this page, after reciting the verse, in Allah does not change in people until they change what is in themselves. They say, according to Imam Abu Bakr and the nourishment of the heart. The beauty of this verse is that it comprises a twofold meaning. First, it means that Allah does not remove blessings that He has bestowed upon the people until they transgress from obedience to disobedience. This is the response to our first question. We are in this state because of our disobedience. So the first question, why are we in this state? So we're in this state because of our disobedience. In other words, we exchanged guidance for misguidance. And Allah left us to fend for ourselves. ourselves. And think about this like Muslims who decide that by any means necessary, we are going to bring khilafah into this world. By any means necessary. We're going to violate every moral principle Islam teaches. We're going to destroy life, innocent life. On top of that, we're going to rape, we're going to pillage, right? Because what? Because the end justifies the means, right? In a situation like that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will lead you to your own devices. He will lead you to rely upon yourself. And so now you're just, if you're going to, comparing your own military preparations up against that of the enemy, it's not going to be a chance for you to win because you're not going to have divine protection. Divine suffering is not going to come. But that situation is there because of what? Because you exchange guidance for his guidance. And Allah left us to fend for ourselves. The second meaning of this verse is that Allah does not change the people's outward state of abasement, humiliation, and objection until they change what is in themselves. This answers our second question. Meaning, the second question is that how do we get out of this situation? So the second question is, to get out of this state, we must consciously move from a state of disobedience to a state of obedience. We must recognize that Allah gave us guidance through messengers, in our case the final prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that as long as we adhere to that guidance in large numbers, we will under the protection of Allah. So as long as we adhere in large numbers, qualified in large numbers, we have Allah's protection. As those numbers diminish throughout Muslim history, the outward enemies of Islam began to make inroads into the heartland of the Muslims until they actually conquered the Muslim lands. But this had been preceded by an onslaught of inward enemies who began to make inroads into our hearts. Now, of course, this is just explaining one aspect of why Muslims lost control. And of course, it can be seen as an oversimplification on one level. Beg you to bear with the authors of this particular point because I'm quite sure if you ask any of them, either of them, they will tell you that it was more than just simply about the fact that Muslims became less religious. Right? There are a number of political mishaps as well on the part of Muslim rulers, among other things. So, but the fact that it may not be reduced to a single factor still doesn't negate that factor was part of it. That last one was part of what led to the current state of Muslims. So today, both the Muslim heartland and Muslim hearts are oppressed by inward and outward forces that oppose the purpose of Islam, which is to free people from submission to created things by helping them to the Creator of things. Free you from the worship or submission to created things by helping them achieve submission to the Creator of things. A culture of vice, usury, and consumption that enslaves people to the lowest aspects of their nature cannot survive in large numbers of people committed to freeing themselves from those aspects of their nature. And in some ways, you can magnify this a little bit more, and if you think about this, what's happening in American society today in regard to elections and this sort of political revolution that has been spoken about, where neither candidate finds it easy to win the majority of the country over to their side. And you would think that someone like Trump would have been gone a long time ago, right? But one of the big reasons he's not is because the other candidate is not very attractive, right? And beyond that is because status quo politics of this have failed the American people, right? So if you have people in large numbers, unified, right, who really are called for change, then change eventually will occur. Right? And you can bring that back, of course, to ourselves on a personal level. When large numbers of us as well are committed to being better people, then you'll see a better society. You see a better society. And you see it this year, even right here in Utah. Not just with Muslims, but you have the Mormons and people committed to a certain type of morality. Right? People committed to being people who uphold, honesty, fairness, fair treatment, right? Among other things, the devotion to God, commitment to family values. That you'll see how society can operate based upon principles moral principles which create a healthy type of interaction or relationship with others. So we go to page 5, jump over to page 5, and the second to last paragraph begins with this. This is our state. So this is our state. Division reigns supreme. Distrust, suspicion, and conspiracy theories linger in our communities. And we blame everyone but our own selves for our present condition. Most Muslims now live under the yoke of tyrannical governments that, through abusive systems of rule, generate an indolence and lassitude that make Muslims among the least productive people on earth. And again, this is written in 1999. Correct. So we see, in 1999, there was really a whole lot of talk about overthrowing Muslim governments, right? At least not among Muslims. That Muslims were very much defensive of their homelands. That's just changed very much, and I'm not necessarily in favor of this idea of overthrowing any type of government, at least not by force, but where you create greater evil than what is already there. But it was the state. It was a state of affairs, and we see things have changed quite a bit recently. But to continue, it says the religion has become a refuge for angry youth who use it as a political platform to rage against the injustices of the West. So again, this is before ISIS. Right? It's stated. Right? So there are already youth who are doing that. They should instead remind people what the visionary Malik bin Nabi said over half a century ago. The colonial West is nothing but a scavenger on an already moribund carcass. What does that mean? That the West, the colonial West is nothing but a scavenger on an already moribund carcass. Good, right. It's already dead. It's a dead carcass. So why fight over a dead carcass? Right? If Muslims were truly living in Islam, our greatness would dispel any negative influence from the West and the traditional lands of Islam. And again, of course, things are a little more complex than this. That's what, there's some truth in that statement. We must also remember that neither Americans nor Western people are our enemies per se. And that if they knew that what Islam truly is, many of them would either embrace Islam or at least have a healthy respect for it and its virtues. Right? Now, the challenge that Muslims has is multifaceted when it comes to the imagery of Islam. On one hand, we can't blame all Muslims or most of us for what a few of us do. But the media projects that imagery. And sometimes we reinforce the same narrative ourselves when we come out and we feel the need to condemn an act that a Muslim committed. Not that we shouldn't be outraged by actions committed in the name of Islam. We shouldn't be outraged by that. We should be outraged by any type of evil, any type of violence. All people should be outraged by any type of evil, any type of violence. And but we don't control the imagery. I mean, there are marches. Muslims have made marches against ISIS. We didn't see it publicized internationally. Muslims are constantly condemning things, oftentimes are not magnified. So at one level, we can't control it. The media is determining, they're deciding, what we're going to magnify, what we're not going to magnify. So in that sense, it's not something that we really can be too concerned about. On the other hand, we can control our personal, our personal profile or our individual sort of reputation. We can check our individual reputation. We do that by being upstanding people. And it's better for us to focus on, with our neighbors, is for them getting to know us rather than getting them to know Islam. If you understand what I mean by that, is that if every time I interact with my neighbor, the thought I have in my mind is that, I have to teach them about Islam, right? I think that itself can have the opposite effect, opposite impact that we expect. Because one, perhaps they're not interested in hearing anything about Islam. And then two, it may send the message that the only thing that defines who you are is your religion. That's it. If I want to know anything about you, all I need to do is study your religion. But our identity is much more complex than that. If you're a woman, it's part of your identity. Something about being a woman that makes you different than it is about me or when I was being a man. Right? Your ethnic background, your social economic status, your education level, right? Your family background, your family sort of environment and the type of lessons you learned at home, the country you come from. I mean, all of those things have an impact on how we're perceived by others. And on how I even read the Quran. Why is it that some person who's from ISIS reads Qaqtul al-Mushrikeen and kill the Mushrikeen rather than find them? And they might say, Allah said it, just go do it. Right? But I can read the same verse and I say, well, it looks like it's saying this, but I don't believe that. That's what Allah is really trying to say. Trying to tell me to do. I don't believe that's what it's saying to do. Because there's something else about who I am, my identity, that makes me take that pause, right? Because I'm not only my religion. That Islam is not what defines who I am only, right? So that's an important thing I think we need to reflect upon. Moving down the page, toward the end of the section where it says, true Muslims love peace, obey the law, and are also commanded by Allah to be witnesses unto humanity. Right, so that's, of course, in short, I guess we could say, summarize what a true Muslim is. The following section related to inner and outer transformations begins with the statement, the path for us in these Western lands is twofold. The first is inner transformation through spiritual growth with the soul. The second transformation through struggle with the vices and degrading aspects of society. This means working toward the realization of a culture that embodies moral conformity, protects children, and enhances family and community life. Right, so there's both a private and Islam is not just a private. Right? If anything, Islam is not a religion. Something, there you go. He said it. He told you Islam wasn't a religion. That's some neocons. Islam is not even a religion, it doesn't qualify as a religion. Right? But nor do most pre-modern religions qualify as religions. As Karen Armstrong, she highlighted this in one of her writings called The Myth of Religious Violence. As a matter of fact, I think it was a book as well, but there's an article in The Guardian, The Myth of Religious Violence, and in that particular article, she made it clear that realistically the only faith tradition that truly qualifies as a religion is Protestant Christianity. Protestant Christianity. Yeah. Because religion is a term which is a secular term, right? Because we have the right to believe, right? Whatever we want to. We have freedom. Religious freedom means the right to believe, not necessarily the right to practice everything we want to. Right? Certain things, if it doesn't threaten the public order, yeah, go ahead and practice. But listening is more so about freedom of thought, freedom of belief, and separating, removing God from the equation. Like in a secular society, God really, this is a private individual endeavor. It's not a public endeavor, right? Protestant Christianity found a way to conform to that, and especially when we take into consideration the issue of capitalism and even Max Weber's, the Protestant ethic with regard to capitalism. He wrote about this and argued that had it not been for Protestant Christianity, the capitalism would have spread. Calvinism, Lutheranism, more so Calvinism, that this sort of a marriage between capitalism and Protestant Christianity. So Islam, like Judaism, like so many other pre-modern religions, they didn't only see itself or see this particular tradition as a private endeavor. So there's Islam is a private aspect of Islam, of course, regarding God, praying to God, we fast, Ramadan, we make the Hajj, and other things, but there's also a public aspect of Islam. That if you can't just be if you're a selfish person, you're not a true Muslim, right? If you're not willing to share the goodness that God has given you with others, then you're not a good Muslim. You're not completing your faith, right? And other traditions have that same sort of teaching, right? So it's not just simply about privatizing my beliefs and my practices and making it something which doesn't threaten the social political norms that are out there. Rather, again, we have something to contribute to society, and we should want to contribute to a better society. And as other groups have made inroads politically and socially, Muslims should not just simply cave in, give in to this idea that, it's the law, you just got to accept it. And I'm quite sure we've heard on different occasions that Islam is, that when Muslims live in a non-Muslim society, they have an obligation to obey the laws of that society. Now, that's not an absolute principle, right? It doesn't mean that you just accept it or just go along with everything that's there, or you don't try to challenge the law or try to alter or change it. That's not what it means. It fundamentally means that you respect the rights of other people, that you don't violate their physical person, you don't hurt them physically or kill them, right? It means their property is safe with you, right? And their honor is safe with you. You don't spread rumors or defame people, right? That's fundamentally what it means to respect and to obey the laws of the land. When you go into a territory, that's fundamentally the main concern. Your wealth, your person, and your honor. Those three things. But if you accept the idea that we have to respect the laws as they are and not try to interfere with them, then if that was the attitude, then we would never have the civil rights movement. We would still be living under Jim Crow. We'd still be living in a society of slaves. You understand? But it was all the law. It's all the law. Right? So we have to, if we have come to accept that this is my home, right? This is where I live, this is where my children are going to live, and there's a future that may threaten my tradition, that actually want to eradicate my tradition, because certain people have different ideas about religion. There's a war of religion. Not just Islam, there's a war of religion. Some people are waging a war of religion. They want it gone. It's interfering too much with their project, the secular project. You see? And in that sense, we do have to be concerned about our children, about our family, about community life. And then on page 7, at the top of the page, it says, well, we already know this. The majority of this book pertains to the first path to talk about. And then there's a section at the bottom of the page about the importance of family, which begins, the family is the first and most important unit of society, and is designed to nurture and prepare the young to carry on the civilizational enterprise. It is in serious crisis throughout the world, and our children, whether in Muslim households or those of other faiths and beliefs, are suffering everywhere. Schools once meant to nourish and enhance the intellects, bodies, and souls of our youth, now dump them down and prepare them for life of mediocrity and servility, in many instances to perform meaningless jobs that neither benefit humanity nor help the individual grow morally and spiritually. Government is now encroaching on every aspect of our lives. Privacy, once honored and respected in all societies, is breached daily by sophisticated technology capable of monitoring virtually everything we do. On the other hand, for instance, go to the next page, very first paragraph of the next page. So it changes it from those on the outside who may be causing us harm to now come back to ourselves. Many parents employ internalized tyrannical control models in child rearing. Unfortunately, those who grow up in despotic cultures often internalize those same governing patterns in their homes. In fact, congruence theory illustrates how the aggregate of homes that make up a society is inevitably a reflection of the same patterns of authority used in other social institutions, including most importantly, the government. If the model that the government employs is despotic, this is merely a reflection of despotic families that make up the society, and is the meaning of the prophetic statement, as you are, so are the people placed in charge of you. Unfortunately, when Muslims migrate to Western countries in search of more political and circumstantial freedom in their affairs, some of them end up replicating in their own homes the same models of authority that caused them to flee their countries in the first place. It's important to understand, again, what makes me who I am, our identities. Again, what type of government did I live under? How did those governors rule? Right? Had an impact on my psychological state, and how I choose to rule or run my family. And it can become very, very oppressive, controlling, does not promote trust. Right? And once trust is gone in any relationship, then there's no more relationship. Our societies, they run on trust. I mean, if you give me a bottle of water, and it says purified drinking water. It says purified. Okay. Great value, I don't know. Great value, I don't know, who they are, but I mean, they put the water in the bottle, they put the tape on it, and they said purified water. I trust, even I don't know them, I'm just assuming, you're innocent until proven guilty. I trust that it's purified water. Or when they put labels and this halal, right? Whatever type of product you're talking about, that society runs on trust. Relationships run on trust as well. When a married couple, once one loses trust in the other, there's no more relationship. you can't get that back. It's almost impossible to get that back. Once I don't trust that you have my best interests at heart anymore. That you really don't want me to flourish. You don't really want me to be happy. You only think about yourself, right? Right? If I'm convinced, 100% convinced that you can't change, and that's the way it works, there's no more relationship. It's not going to work anymore. Our society is not trust. So if we are acting like a despot, if I'm called an autocrat, it is saying the message, right? The message set up, they have message boards, and they have people who want to run. Now, I'm not talking about here. I don't know what's happening. I know there are places like that. But there are people who prefer that, listen, I'm the dictator here. I'm in charge here. And nobody can remove me. And no one will have the right to remove me. Right? This is my thing. Right? It ruins the trust. Right? People don't want to work with that type of people. They try to work with people for a little while, and they give them a chance and say, okay, doesn't want to share control, doesn't want to all himself. Okay. Then people disappear. I know a masjid like this in one city where the imam, he's just like almost every single grade. Big masjid, bigger than this one. Built from the ground up, very large, beautiful mosque. But most of the prayers, he's the only one there. Why? Because he's drinking. He inherited from his father. And he got control of the papers, right? He's driven the sisters away. Sisters, they don't want to come there because he's always asking personal questions. At any rate, but there are people like that. There are people out there like that. So we just have to understand how that can be very damaging to our relationships, especially to our families. At any rate, I think it probably would be a good place to pause for now. I know we have 2 hours this morning, right? I mean, how much more time do we have? We have until 12, as we have. So, if there are any questions, maybe we can take a few questions and we can take a break for about 5 minutes, and then we can start the following session. Any questions anyone have? Or do you have a question?
I thought these paragraphs are very profound. What's within you is outside you. The way you are in your family, that's the kind of leadership you'll have in your society, in your country. That's a very profound concept. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
The whole idea, the whole concept of who you are within your own self first, and then how your family is, that's a reflection of people above you or the society around you or the political leadership or whatever, leadership you have to work under is kind of reflective of the person you are.
Yes. Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, our identities are formed by so many different things. Society in general, our governors, our parents, again, our ethnic group, our religious affiliations, like the sect of Islam I follow, or you understand the subsect that I'm part of, the Tariqa, the Sufi order, all the things they have an impact, have influence over who I am and who I become, and how I interact with others. All of us have certain types of pathology. All of us suffer from pathology in one way or another. And human beings don't typically like to think of themselves that way. We're all sick. I mean, there's certain things that we have that are, idiosyncratic, and some of us have trauma and don't realize it. And so when you accept that from the start, then it's easier for us to improve. It's that way I'm sick, but I don't know what my sickness is. It might be there, but at least you say, what, I have to be because I don't feel that I've arrived. I've completed this path that Allah has put, I don't feel to lead. As long as I feel that I have not completed that, and I'm doing everything that I could possibly be doing. And it's likely that I have something pathologically wrong with me. There's something psychologically, or well, I think we have a certain level of spiritual maturity, right? And but we do definitely, part of our education, a big part of our education, especially when it comes to this, is about understanding ourselves. Understanding ourselves. I mean, how do I communicate with my children? Do I have any communication with my children? You know, what type of relationship do I have? See, I mean, that often is a reflection of the relationship that my parents had with me. See, if I don't know what my children are doing, but they're not speaking to me openly about it, it's because I make them feel intimidated. Right? Or I feel that they can't speak. You know, they can't trust me to understand their struggles. You see, you know what I'm saying? So what type of relationship do I have with my children? Would they be open with me? Right? So we have to question those type of things. And if we realize that this is something we could be doing better, then we should try to make adjustments, right? So that these our children can really, I mean, we should be the ones our children should come to us about. It should be us. They should understand that we're the ones they can trust. We're the ones who really want the best for them. But sometimes it's important for us to listen. It's important for us to listen to what they themselves want. Not that we necessarily have to go along with it, but we can talk to them about why we feel that what they want is not the best for them. Right, see. Trust is really at the root of all of this. It's having the right amount of trust. And when we have trust, we take consultation, take shura. Then it creates for a more vibrant community. It does. You see, the prophets doesn't do this. And the prophet was sent by God. He didn't have to take shura. He didn't have to consult. So anytime we want to make a decision that's going to affect more than ourselves, then we need to consult those people who are going to be affected by our decision. So as a parent, as a husband, right, I should be talking to my wife. So I'm thinking about doing this, and I know, I want to see how you feel about that. I think we need to move, right? And how do you feel about this? You understand? You don't necessarily have to follow completely the advice given to you, right? But at least you're aware of what people's concerns are, and then your decision becomes an informed decision as you know. When you think about this, about that the Prophet ﷺ could have on numerous occasions just simply said, listen, Allah said we're going to do this, this is what we're going to do. Like Brother, the Prophet ﷺ could have said, we're going to fight. And he didn't have to ask the Sahaba, that's all right. He said, well, what do you think? We came out here originally just to get the spoils and to get the actual caravan. That's all we came to get. We wanted to trap the caravan and get our wealth. That's all we wanted. But they escaped. And now we hear this army's coming. So what do you guys think? Go back to Medina? And lock ourselves in our houses or stand here and fight? And he asked them 1, 2, 3. He kept asking until he was certain that they were ready to go. Whatever you want from Allah, we're with you. Right? Or same thing happened. They're coming. The Prophet actually he wanted I think we should say Medina. We know Medina, they don't know Medina. They come in, we're on its home turf. They don't know about this, we can beat them. They said, no, we want to go beat them on the battlefield. Let's go fight. The Prophet, he said, but I think it's better if we do it this way. They said, no, we're weak. Some people weren't in Butler, they want to prove themselves. They said, let's go out and fight them. Okay. Prophet goes to his house, puts on his chainmail, comes out. Rasulullah, you didn't mean to compel me to do this. He said, well, it's not appropriate for a prophet that he puts on his chainmail to take it off until he's going to battle. So he went with them. So they lost. Right? But he didn't have to, he could have said, listen, Allah said, right, that we're going to stay in Medina. Well, you understand? He could have done, but he didn't do it. But he was teaching everyone else about, like, this is a decision which is going to affect more than just me, right? And because it's going to affect more than just me, I need to do sure. And I'll go with what most of the people feel that it's appropriate for us to do. Right? So we should, one of the ways to help build a healthier family, help build a better society, and isn't that what democracy is kind of all about? It's like, everybody's participating, everybody's voting, right? The majority, even though, the minority, they lose, but it's like majority vote. But it's like, hey, we at least consulted the masses about this idea, So it's a wonderful principle, But we have to apply it in our everyday lives as well. So, is there anything else?
Yeah. So you talked about how your identity is not only your religion, but when we look at like the life of the Holy Prophet ﷺ in the Sirah and like how like the companions' lives changed after Islam, let's take like Hazrat Umar Radhiyallahu, for instance, right? How what he was before Islam and how he completely changed after Islam. Wasn't the life of the Sahaba and like their identities completely like dependent on Islam and like did they completely change because of Islam?
I mean, yeah, definitely Islam transformed them. Right, but they didn't say, I'm not Arab anymore. You understand? The Prophet was still an Arab. Omar was still an Arab. The Prophet was still an Arab. See? And there are certain things that were still noble about being an Arab that they retained. Even the Prophet said the famous hadith, and that's ma'adin. Ma'adin, that's what it's about. That people are like precious, metals, like gold and silver. خياركم في جاهلية خياركم في الإسلام إذا قبضوا. That the best of you during the pre-Islamic times and the best of you in Islam, what you learn. So the knowledge of Islam definitely enhance who they were. But Umar was brave before he was Muslim, right? But now he's brave on top, right? You understand? So those tricks are already there with him. That's why everybody's happy. But Omar was all alhamdulillah. He's on our side now. You see? But because they know what he was bringing. He was bringing something with him. Abu Bakr came with his wealth. Uthman came with his wealth. You understand? So Islam enhanced who they were. Indeed, it did. But it didn't change their fundamental identities and the traits that made them who they were. It gave them more traits on top of that, true. And the Prophet also attempted to shift the basis of tribal alliance away from blood or lineage to religion. He did attempt to do that. That's why the Quran talks about the believers are nothing more than brothers, brethren, right? Ikhwa is a word in the Arabic language. It's only utilized when you're referring to people related by blood, right? Right. But the believers are but brothers, right? By blood. Literally, you're not. But the Prophet ﷺ was trying to make that shift. So if you're allied because of blood, like Banu Hashim, they were with the Prophet and the other members of his tribe during the boycott. They said, that we are the same tribe. We want to be with you. Right? We're going to suffer with you. Right? It was because of tribalism, because of blood. It wasn't because of deeds. Right? The Prophet tried to shift that. He said, no, this is about deed. Bilal is one of us. Salman is one of us. Suhaib is one of us. You understand? We're all one people because Iman is faith is stronger than blood. Right? But if you have faith and blood, of course, that's even better. Right? Yes.
You briefly alluded towards the candidates we have for election. In the past, people talked about parties. Parties are more important than candidates. So policies of a certain party, one versus another, that may be a basis of our vote or choice. Uh, so, because if you don't participate, it happens, you're not part of the decision making. So, I want you to comment on that. And the other, a lot of times people ask, how does Islam look at historically compared to the Jeffersonian democracy? How close we are on that?
Well, the first part of the question about not participating in elections representing or constituting a certain type of apathy, which perhaps is not something that Muslims should welcome. I mean, on the other hand, the apathy is well founded, or I believe is well founded with a lot of people, especially if you still have people in society who feel that America has never really been interested in the best interest of that particular group. So you still have a lot of people, minorities, who feel that about America in general. And I think that even rather than focusing on that, I think what's important to understand about politics is one, that voting really is just simply the ABCs of political action. It's like elementary level of just voting. When we look at the African American community, the African American community is two fundamental groups, and it really started after emancipation, where you have called the integrationists, and then you have the separatist nationalist groups amongst African Americans. The separatist groups say, we're not trying to be involved with white America, this is on our own, or we go back to Africa. But most African Americans have kind of adopted the integration approach, but along with that, what they've done as well is adopted the American ideal of individualism. It's like they've really taken it to heart. This idea that you are an individual, and all Americans are the same. So your individual vote is really all that matters. So your ancestors fought for the right to in order to be able to vote. And I challenge that. I challenge it to say that no, they didn't fight for the right to vote, they fought for the right for self-determination. And the vote would just happen to be one way to achieve that. Right? But the vote is most effective when we vote as a collective. We vote with a clearly stated agenda and demands for the candidates, right? And pulling our monies together as well to support or to prop up candidates, and sometimes even to do the opposite of that, right? And like for me, in my entire life, I probably don't vote. Well, I know for sure one time I voted. That was Mr. Obama the first time. I didn't vote for President Obama the second time. And I have no plans to vote this time. And I'm not saying that others have to follow that, or I don't condemn people who do vote, participate, believe that their vote really does count. But I do know as well that in order for the vote to truly have meaning, that you have to be organized, you have to be a group, you have to be, well, we talk about national elections, I mean, local elections, perhaps not so much. You probably don't need to be really that effective. So you can actually have different, one vote sometimes that can really have, a major meaning in like certain local elections. But on the national level, especially, then you really have to be organized as a group. And locally, if you're organized, it's even better. It's even a better chance because candidates, people want to keep their jobs. And they listen to the demands of collectives. So African Americans, unfortunately, is that decide to operate as individuals. And so anytime there is an African American success, it's celebrated as an African American success, but realistically, the person who succeeds doesn't see himself as an African American success. He sees himself as an individual success. Right? So it was played as, you have all these, high-paid, sports people and actors, and sometimes as successful, like Barack Obama. He didn't, you understand, he may have encouraged a lot of African Americans to see what potentially can happen to their lives, but his impact on the African American community beyond that, beyond inspiration, is extremely minimal. Right. So that's one really. I think that's some things to reflect upon when we think about voting, and in some ways this is kind of like because there's a final chapter related to civic involvement. So in some ways we've already started that discussion. And what was the other part of the question?
About Muslim attitude towards Jeffersonian democracy and how close we are from the history, Islamic history.
What aspect in general are you talking about Jeffersonian democracy?
Because elections, how you come to consensus with different aspects, because elections were never held in that way.
Right, we were talking about the issue of the states and how the states were allowed or given the option to join the union or not to join the union.
Yeah.
You're talking about that, right?
Yeah, like the selection of a Khalifa, for example.
Right.
And how it was done compared to here. Because the rest of the Muslim world was dynastic rule, like kings and emperors, and it doesn't fit into the monarchy, it doesn't fit into the democratic rule.
Yeah.
So that was the only period you can compare with. How it was done compared to now.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a very involved discussion. And it probably requires like its own program realistically. Because there's different opinions in our Islamic, most different Islamic texts about the idea of dynasty rule, and whether or not it can be justified. Because if Islam doesn't necessarily have like a negative opinion of dynastic rule if the person who's coming after his father is qualified to be there. Right? Because you think of David and Solomon, right? Both were prophets and both were kings as well. Right? So monarchies are not necessarily inherent evil, right? From a basic Islamic standpoint. Otherwise, we have to declare that particular phenomenon with them to be an evil phenomenon. So we have to accept that as something tolerable. But definitely the Khawarij, the Ghalibiyya, their particular approach is a more egalitarian type of political arrangement where only the best qualified person should be in charge, even if that best qualified person is a woman. Their particular approach is probably, of the different sects of Islam, probably more akin to what we find in the Western world today, at least in theory. At least in theory, in the Western world. Right? But the Sunnis and Shiites historically have been less averse to saying that dynastic rule is something a negative issue, a negative thing. Especially since for Sunnis, that only someone from Quraysh could be in charge to begin with. And for the Shiites, historically, it was either someone from the Prophet's family, right, who was legitimately in charge. And we do know the first 30 years of Islam was not a dynasty, we know that as well, and as I say, it was on the pattern of prophecy, because Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, though they were not family members of one another in the strict sense of family, but they were members of the same tribe, which, right? So in that sense, it was a dynastic type of rule that came there, but it was rooted in the idea of these people being elders and qualified, the most qualified technician to be in charge. And so it was something, it was the norm. So time changed, norms changed. So I think that it's difficult to project modern sensibilities into the past without contextualizing the past. Right? So, like I said, it's a very involved conversation to have. And, but we definitely should have that. But I think people probably like break items. 5, 10. Oh no, 5. Break.
We can do 5 minutes.
Oh, it's 5 minutes. Let's take 5 minutes.